Hello, everybody. Welcome to another What's Up Wednesday, episode 48, December 8th, 2021. Just a joy to have you with me tonight. Um, hey, I'm in Florida, so we have to poke fun at Christmas decorations in Florida, which probably rarely, if ever, sees snow because it's endless summer in Florida. Thank you for joining me. Really appreciate that. If this is our first time meeting, my name is Scott. Welcome to my YouTube channel, Go Small, Live Large. YouTube channel all about the Class B, that would be a van, RV lifestyle. What we do here is we learn together, we share together, and then you decide what's the best way for you to roll. And What's Up Wednesday is all about your live questions. We have some content, and we got a really cool show for you tonight. And we got a lot of folks in the house already. This is our big topic. We're going to hit this at 10 minutes past the hour. So 10 minutes into the program, 9 more minutes to go. Stay or leave a campsite that does not have cellular signal. Why is this the topic of the night? Because I went through this yesterday evening, and it has been a bugaboo for the last 24 hours. Let me tell you. We'll get into that in a few minutes. If you've been struggling with cellular, don't miss this. Stay tuned. Also coming at you in 40 minutes after the hour, 40 minutes of the video, is our new segment here on What's Up Wednesday called Libation Live. Tonight, we're going to do a little tasting with the premium small batch Tennessee Bourbon whiskey from Kirkland Signature brand, which is available at Costco. It's their house brand, and I have mine sitting right there, if you can see that. So you don't want to miss that 40 minutes into the video. Be sure and stick around for that. I'm super excited for that little portion of the segment. I'm coming at you from Chieftain, Florida. Wait here, I'll zoom in for you so you can see where in the world that is. Yeah, it's right kind of on the corner of the panhandle-ish of Florida. And let me tell you just a little about Chieftain because I'm curious where you're coming in from. Chieftain says it's the gem of the Suwannee Valley. Let me zoom in here for you so you can read this for me. And that's actually a picture that I doctored up of the Manatee Springs State Park spring this morning. Chieftain, Florida has 2,245 residents. It was incorporated in 1929. The big industry in the area is agriculture, ranching, aquaculture, growing oysters, and then timber, which is kind of interesting to think about timber harvesting in Florida, but the pines here grow straight and fast. It's about 30 miles northeast of Cedar Key, Florida, where I head tomorrow. And the reason it brought me here was the Manatee Springs State Park in Florida. We're going to talk about that as part of our cellular coverage topic tonight. So as always, I'm curious where you're coming in from, and if we see a new country in the chat tonight or in the comments later after this post, we will put that your country flag up here. So let us know where you're watching from. We got a lot of folks in the house tonight, and let me just say hi to some regulars and some new faces. So John's joining us from Godly, Texas. I'm missing Texas already, gotta tell you. Interesting. I actually like it neat. We'll talk about that at that time of the day. Mary apparently is in Quartzsite still. That'd be Arizona. Mesa Mike is in his hometown. He's got of Mesa, Arizona. He's got a question. We're going to answer that in a minute. Let's just round out some of the folks that have joined us tonight. There's Roger and Jane coming in from Northern Illinois. Or I guess it's kind of cold lately, right? This is our format we like to use, which is 3 stars followed by 3 question marks, and then place your question there. Helps me find it more readily, and it would just be a great pleasure to know where you're coming in from. So let's kind of keep rolling here. This is how the program rolls, and no guest tonight. You got little old me, and let me get that off the screen. Stand by. There we go. 10 minutes, about 6 minutes from now, we'll do the question topic of the week. Tip of the week coming at. This is a really great one. I think you're going to enjoy it. Song or movie, we definitely have one of those, and of course, Libation Live. So that's how we're rolling now with the program. Bear with me one second here. Yes. So if you are into any of that kind of topic or information around van life, please subscribe to the channel. If you are into van tours, walk you through vans, where to take your van, and then van tips. You don't want to miss a single video, so subscribe to the channel, please. Hit the notification bell. A lot of folks kind of miss that. YouTube gives you an opportunity to get notified when a new video posts. And that's pretty important because otherwise you kind of have to rely on your memory. I don't know about you, but mine's getting old and creaky. So let the technology work for you and hit the notification bell. All right, I think we got some questions. Let's hit some of the questions. Um, Here, Mason Mike's got a good question right out of the gate, and then a couple more announcements for you. Let's bring it up on the screen here. So Mason Mike, a really cool. We're Van Bros, which is pretty cool. He's stuck at home. He's taking his 2022 GL in for warranty work. His mileage is at 8,700. I'm going to post this on Instagram probably tomorrow. I have actually passed this by a little bit, but I just passed 85,555 miles on the way to Florida, and 85,555. That's a lot of experiences. That's a lot of gasoline. That's a lot of wear and tear on this van. And then Mason Mike wants to know, where are you having any work done? And I am having work done on the van when I get to home base Florida. I always return to home base Florida for the holidays, and then in January we do a whole bunch of RV show at the Florida RV Super Show in Tampa. So I'm getting some work done before I leave for that. So I'm expecting the van to be in the ProMaster Ram shop, the hospital, if you were. Lily's going to the doctor. I got quite a list. Brakes. I got a CV boot that's broken open. Golly, I need to post. I'll do a little bit of a video on it. I do have the extended powertrain warranty, so I'm not expecting to have a lot of this out of my pocket. But Lily's going to the doctor for probably at least a week, maybe even a week and a half. So thank you, Mike, for that. About 85,500. Am I having any work done on the coach itself, the Winnebago build out? Nope, it doesn't need any. How do you think about being full-time now for almost 3 years? How often I flush the toilet, empty the tank, open the cabinets, slam the fridge door. It's just amazing how this thing's built like a tank. It just is super amazing to me. I do need to clean my Max Air fan. Oh my gosh, is that thing need a cleaning? Okay, a couple more announcements here, and then we want to move into our topic of the night. Get your questions rolling in, please. I saw a couple more right here. Is hold. So, John, we're going to deal with your question here as part of our topic here in just a couple minutes. So let me show the folks this. And we got some really great guests coming up on What's Up Wednesday, December 15th, which is next Wednesday. We got Off Highway Van. They are the lifter of my van, and several of the audience members, they've lifted their vans with Off Highway Van in Salt Lake City. So AJ is going to be on the show next week. I'm really excited about that. December 29th, if you're kind of not wanting the traditional RV van, but want one of these like Ford Econolines, you don't want to miss AJ. Art of AJ's 4x4 vans is going to be joining us on December 29th on the What's Up Wednesday. So be sure and join us for that. He's a super cool dude, and all they focus on is turning your Econoline into a 4x4. It's pretty stunning to think about. January 6th, we've got a ladder tire hanger honor thing, bike rack accessory builder. Rover Vans from Chicago is going to join us, and Peter's going to walk us through how to outfit a Transit, because everybody else is doing Sprinters. He wants to do something different. I may have to turn the AC on. It's getting warm in here. Or is it just me under the lights? So join us for that. That's going to be a big show. And boy, talking about big shows, next Friday, December 17 at 2 p.m., 2:30 p.m. Central. Let me zoom in here for you so you can see this. We have our my paid partner on the embassy envoy, Terry Minix, is going to join us, and big announcement going to be made tonight, but he's going to go into great detail, like Project Black Bear, which is building out a brand new RV in the Class C kind of thing, Echo, but embassy style. He's announcing a brand new program called Project Bear Cub, and he is really excited about this. He's already got information posted on his website. What makes Project Bear Cub cool is, let's say you already have a van, maybe you bought a van that's kind of a few years old, maybe there's something you want to make some pretty significant changes. They're going to be offering a remodel your van RV service right there in Elkhart, right there at Embassy RV. Maybe you want some of those cool Embassy RV systems, get rid of the black tank, get rid of the gray tank, and put in Embassy style stuff like that. That's what Project Bear Cub will do for you. Nancy, in fact, I think is having her, is one of the first beta launch customers. She's camped out in her van, 20 degrees, Elkhart, Indiana, at Embassy RV parking lot. And it's just the greatest thing to have the launch customer there. So Terry's going to be going into this in great detail next Friday, December 17 at 2:30 p.m. Central. So you do not want to miss that if you are looking to remodel your van. Pretty cool stuff there, right? Speaking of cool stuff, I want to give a shout out to Scott, a viewer in Chiefland, Florida. He met me, saw me roll into the RV park where I'm camped out tonight, and so a shout out to Scott. Thanks for thanks for saying hi. I really appreciate people getting brave to go say hi. I am nobody special, that is for sure. But he was cool enough to roll up and say hi. I just really appreciate it. So hey, Scott, what's up? Okay, so let's talk about. We're 10 minutes after the hour, so let's talk about this subject. And Ron, this kind of John, this kind of brings you into the question you had brought up, and that is stay or leave. And I've been faced with this more times than I probably would like, and that's what I want to talk about tonight. Just share my experience and ask you to think through how you would relate, how you'd react. That's a much better word. How would you react to this? So here's a scenario. This is our topic of the night. Stay or leave a campground that you've paid money for when you discover there is no cellular service. And in this case, I was actually staying at a state park in Florida, the Manatee Springs State Park. And now, oftentimes, what I do if I'm going someplace I'm not really sure about, I run this app. Let me zoom in here for you. This is an app called Coverage ? This was an audience friend, Dr. Dave, include me in on this. The kind of the light salmonish color, that is traditional LTE coverage. The dark red is 5G. So you can see there on the kind of the west coast or the east coast of Florida, that's where there's a lot of 5G coverage. So I was confident I could get some degree of LTE coverage here because I checked this. Generally, if I'm going someplace I don't know where I'm going, there's the app again. You can get that. There's a free version and a paid version. I always man up and pay for the good stuff. But what I discovered once I got there is there was no cell service. I was shocked because where I'm sitting right now is in a Walmart parking lot in Chiefland, Florida, because ironically, the RV park I'm staying at and paying money for, I can't get cell service there worth a bean either. So this program tonight is sponsored by Volta, which is the green lights up here. Well, it's not sponsored by, but it's powered by, because there's no cell service at my campground RV park. So let me zoom in here for you. What I discovered last night rolling into the campground is literally no bars of service. And if I stepped outside with my iPad, I could barely get anything. These screenshots were taken this morning, but it was the same thing last night. But the good news is I went to bed early, right? But I can get by with a scraping of juice if I don't have a What's Up Wednesday, but I really need some power to get through the day. And here was the error messages I was getting on my iPad. You can see here, again, these were tried to be sent to Kyle this morning. And when you get a message that there's not enough cellular juice to send a text message, there's no coverage at all. So I was super disappointed because I thought this was close enough to the town as I drove through. I'm always monitoring the cell coverage, and it was pretty good. So a couple of choices. Either stick it out, which I did last night. I went to bed early, or make plans for the next day. I cannot sit in an environment where there is literally no coverage. And if I'm sitting in the van, it gets a little bit worse because this is a steel can. The camp host was gracious enough to say, hey, they've got some Wi-Fi down at the concession stand down by where the spring is and where the manatees hang out. Didn't say manatees this morning, by the way. So I'm like, okay, we'll go tromping down there in the morning. Let me zoom in here for you. This is the awesome Wi-Fi signal at the concession stand. There was two RV, ironically in vans, that were trying to do some work. And the insult to injury here is the park ranger staff was power washing steps. So he had this generator power hose thing going. So not only were they getting pretty crappy Wi-Fi service, they had to put up with the noise of the power washer system. So I pretty much decided I had to leave. And that's just what you have to be prepared to do sometimes. Why pay for a spot when you have to leave your van, leave the parking, leave to go get some cell service, only to roll back in and not get any cell service? So what I did is I zoom in here for you. So as I was leaving and departing, the ranger station was open. They refunded me $19 to my credit card, ironically and strangely by check. She said, if you don't get a check within 4 to 6 weeks, contact them. This is 2021, right? States refunding checks by paper taking 6 weeks. What is going on? What I also found very curious, and another reason why I wanted to kind of leave, is you can see there that it was $20 for the actual site. It was a $7 per day utility fee. And then there was a registration fee, which I don't think I got that back at all because I booked this online. This is one of the problems I'm finding with state parks is they got all these extra fees now, which makes this about the same price as a commercial site and no cell signal worthy to work from inside the van. So that is kind of my situation. And see if I vote. So this is my test to you, and this goes right to John's question right here. John, thank you for asking this great question. Is it really a problem being without cell service for a couple of days? A bad thing, sir? If you need cell service for work, communication, entrepreneur, yeah, it's pretty important. So here's my test. If you don't think this is a big deal, go on airplane mode after the program tonight and stay on airplane mode until this time tomorrow morning and see how your brain starts to freak out. I don't think you can do it. I really don't. One of the guys there at the camp today said kind of the same thing. And I'm like, but he was the guy, ironically, over at the concession stand having to listen to the water pressure machine thing on his thing. I'm like, we live in a connected environment. So if you don't think this is a big deal, I'm serious. Try it. 18 hours on airplane mode, no Wi-Fi, no data. And more importantly, what's your plan if you don't have connectivity? And I'm not talking about streaming stuff. I'm talking about basic sending a text message. I might as well be on the top of, I don't know, Mount Rushmore, right? Which probably has great cell service because it's a great site. So that's my advice for you tonight is think through your plan, be prepared to leave, be prepared to move sites and get a refund because I think it's just super important. And if you are thinking this is just cavalier, if you're retired and you don't, you check Facebook once a week, whatever, right? That's cool. I'm really happy for you. Get a book, get a glass of wine, and just have a big snooze and do all that. But if you need connectivity, my suggestion is to have a plan and then test it out. So what do you think of that? Comment below. Super interested in what you have to say. And John, yeah, I'm telling you, try airplane mode 18 hours. And I think it was 6 p.m. last night to 9 o'clock this morning. It was driving me crazy. All right, so some more questions coming in. We've got our tip of the week in just a few minutes. So let's see what questions you folks have tonight. Somebody's tooting their horn for me. That's nice. Can you hear that? We have a lot of folks picking up RVs, ladies and gentlemen. This is so great. Here, Shake House picking up their Coach from Beyond on Friday. You've got to be, and what a Christmas present, right? That is so amazing. Congratulations. So along with our topic tonight, Jane has a question here. Excuse me. She is wanting to use an external cell signal booster. No is the short answer. And what's the one that's on the pole? Mason Mike can chime in. He's got one. I talked with him, and I talked more importantly with, well, not more importantly, but very more thoroughly with Ginger Walkabout. She had one of those Wii Boost. That's what it's called. And she said it really didn't make that big of a difference in most cases, and in some cases actually worsened the cell signal. So it also requires drilling a hole in the van. I'm not super interested in that. I got enough holes in my van, but I don't want more leak opportunities. So I don't. What I do, though, is like right now I have my jetpack. It's sitting in the windshield of the van in the middle of the Walmart parking lot away from all the trees. So that's how I try and do it. And actually, moving my Wi-Fi spot just a few feet either direction sometimes makes a giant difference. It's just insane how triangulation it is. Yeah, congratulations there. Let's see. Looking for some questions. So Donna's got a good question here. We'll do our tip of the week. I've got a cool tip for you, by the way, for ProMaster owners specifically, but all of us in general. So Donna wants to know, should the inverter be on when charging on shore power? First time charging that way. Lots of questions today. So I think Donna just picked up her KL. Good job of getting Volta. Yeah, generally when you plug into shore power, your inverter comes on automatically. So sometimes I've noticed you have to kind of turn it on, but generally it would be on. And if the inverter's on and you're plugged in shore power, you actually can't turn it off. has been my experience. So if you're plugged in shore power, just leave your inverter on, and you'll be good to go. And you'll be on Volta. It should be pretty simple, not overly scary. Be sure and get the Volta app. You'll want to download that to your device right away. Get it connected to Bluetooth so you can see what's going on and kind of experiment a little bit. Go turn the power off of the utility pole, and then see how much juice the inverter charger is consuming by just being in a state of on, and then turn the inverter off, the circuit disconnected from shore power, and see how much less energy is being consumed by having the inverter charger off. And then run some appliances with the inverter charger on or off. And I think it'll give you a little sense of what the power of the system is. You can see how long it will run, how long it will charge. So it's a good test. Congratulations again. I'm super excited for you. Hey, Greg's back in Wheeling. Wow. From Santa Fe. Santa Fe is so awesome. He was there on a huge project though, but I can't wait to get back to Santa Fe. I love Santa Fe. Frisco, Texas. I'm so bummed I didn't get to go see Teresa and all the folks at Frisco, Texas. Okay, so here's the tip of the week. Let me zoom in here for you. Let me do a few more reminders here. Sorry, I'm trying to count my ums and reduce them by a lot. So thank you for your patience. Maybe somebody can give me an thing in that. Or thumb down. I don't know. Actually, give a thumb up if you're learning anything. Hey, follow me on Instagram. I've been posting a lot on Instagram right now. If you've been following me on Instagram, you will see that I street camped in Gulfport, Mississippi. Roundups coming. We're doing drive-in theater roundups in Lakeland, Florida, and Lake Worth. Don't have dates yet, but stay tuned. I'm super excited about those. Probably Florida or January. Souls Pocket was the most recent video I posted. Van tours. That's what we do here, is providing van tours, not van reviews, not van deep dives, not how-tos and stuff like that, but just think of it as an open house. You're kind of shopping for a house and you're thinking you want a kitchen, bath, 3 bedrooms and 2 baths, and you're just kind of wandering around looking at floor plans. That's what we do here for you on the tours, is walking through a floor plan. Solos, really amazing little floor plan. Next video you'll see is on Saturday. Best van coffee maker. Yes, you don't want to miss that. We'll get your questions in a second. This is the tip of the week. So if you have a tip, be sure and send those in. Those are GSLL viewer recommendation at gmail.com. That's how you get a tip of the week sent to me to share with the folks. GSLL viewer recommendation. And my tip of the week is this. And my question for you is, how many of you have walked away from your van thinking you locked it? Probably did, only getting like 3 blocks away going, did I actually lock the van? I can't tell you how many miles I've walked in my 3 years of full-time, nearly van life, locking the van, walking away a few blocks, going, have that searing going, God, did I lock the van or not? I can't remember. Turn around and go back, only to find out 9 times out of 10 I locked the van, but just didn't have a confirmation. So here is what I do every time now. And if you've been with me, you know I do this. So on the key fob, my little buttons have worn off, but I press the lock button. We'll see if we get a mechanical lock that you can hear. So as I press the lock button and I hear the mechanical lock, I say locked, and I look at the lights to see if they flash while I'm at the van. And I cannot tell you what a difference that makes. I have a visual, I have a auditory, and I have a kinetic visual on the van is locked, and all my concerns about did I lock the van or not completely evaporate. I'm telling you, it's magic. If you don't have a trick like that, try this one and see if you like it. It really has done an amazing job for me. Again, looking at your key fob, press the lock button, hear it, say it, locked, and watch the lights, and all 3 of those sears into your brain that you've locked the van, which is pretty amazing. No more extra steps did I lock the van or not? So it's so annoying. How many of you have done that? Gotten halfway, to where you're going, and then only to discover, oh, God, did I lock it or not? So that's the tip of the week. Hopefully you enjoyed that. Okay, looking for some questions. Let's see. Here we've got Bobby Jet coming in. Appreciate that. Rockwall, Texas. I love Texas. Streamwood, hello. Yeah, I'm going to put this right here. There she is, Nancy, coming in from Embassy RV parking lot, 20 degrees. Hope they got your furnace figured out. And you're getting a new furnace, right? Yeah, I already kind of passed through Gulfport, just a charming little town. And there's Scott from Chiefland. Apparently, that's it's named for because a bunch of chiefs met here over the years when Florida was really new. The I toured the state capitol in Tallahassee, the Florida state capitol, and it was kind of fascinating. They had some facts on there. Um, the state was in 1905, I think it had was 33rd in population and had 500,000 residents in the state of Florida. In 2021, are you ready for this? It's the fourth most populous state. I think it was 21 million people, I think he said. The only more populous states is California, Texas, New York, Florida, in that order. It's pretty fascinating to me, and Florida's just a really cool space. Let's see, what else we have? What questions do you folks have? I got a couple more things to share with you. Arlington, Texas. Yes, that's a great place. St. Augustine. Augustine. I always get that wrong. I went to St. Augustine School, Catholic school, when I was a little guy, so it always sticks in my brain. Um, so Sparks Guy's got an interesting question here. Let's see what he has us to question on. Is it tricky to get to the low point drains on the Truma system? Got to drain mine. Also, what mileage does your ProMaster signal oil change is needed? 8,500. Great question. There goes. I'm sorry. I'll have to be honest. I've never winterized my van. Why? Because I'm living in it and I'm not staying in really cold weather. So I am absolutely the wrong resource for you there. But Sparks Guy, what I would recommend is going to the Facebook group, Travada Owners and Wannabes, and put that question in the search field, and I bet you get a bazillion different responses. Certainly the Truma would have a how-to, I'm sure, on their website as well. But I've never drained my tanks. I've never winterized my van. Only that's not true. I have personally never done it. I did freeze my van once by not winterizing. That was my fifth week of ownership when I was in London. Chicago had a cold snap early in November and got down in the high teens at night. Froze my van. The only thing that broke, strangely, I had a full water system, pressurized water pump on. Um, the, um, the water filter under the galley sink, the color water filter cracked, and that was the only thing. Then I hobbled my humility to the Winnebago dealer in Rockford, Illinois, Winnebago Motorhomes. Mick, great guy there, and he thought out my system and checked it and replaced the filter and patted me on the back and said, "Don't do that again," basically. So I've never winterized, so I don't have a good answer for you there. Mileage, it is about, I don't know. I change it more often than I probably should because I'm now putting in synthetic oil. So I spend about $100 on an oil change. Why? Because I'm driving a lot of miles, ladies and gentlemen, and I just don't want any problems. And if an oil change helps prevent something, the reminder does come on. I don't know what it actually comes on at. 8,500 probably says in the manual, but I'm doing it more often. Excuse me, it's warm in here. Maybe I'll use my app and turn on the AC. What do you think? That'd be cool. Please hold. By the way, this app by Eric Sell, several of you have mentioned it is no longer available. I'm looking off screen to turn on my app. Coleman Mach 3 is the system I have in my van, and I am sad to say that, let's see, cool, low. This is the beauty of the app. You can turn it on right here, and there she goes. And you can do it from bed without getting up. It's really a great app. Thor bought Eric Sell recently. Eric Sell makes a whole bunch of RV products. A lot of consolidation in the RV space right now, the manufacturers and suppliers, and I'm a little concerned, to be honest. It'd be kind of, maybe it's an opportunity as well, but so I don't have a good answer for you on either of those questions, Sparks Guy. I apologize. Okay, so this is bottom of the hour. Going to share with you our movie of the week. We used to do song of the week, and pet picks of the week. So we're kind of focused on movies. Um, so let no, sorry. Let me give you the movie of the week as recommended by Van Liberty. He has an Embassy RV. Lonesome Dove. It ran one season. I've purchased and downloaded all all 4 episodes. I have not watched it yet. I may indeed watch this tonight. I'm just starstruck on westerns, particularly old westerns. That's really catching my eye lately. But I'm curious if you've seen Lonesome Dove. Great talent in this. And again, if you have a recommendation here, GSLL viewer recommendation at Gmail, so I can share that with the folks. Some of you recommended Giant, so I've downloaded a bunch of, oh my gosh, Giant and Rebel Without a Cause. James, oh, total brain, my hard drive skipped. Oh, good Lord. Yeah, you know him. And I'm downloading stuff because of the internet connectivity sometimes. And streaming is really kind of a big tap. So stuff I will watch over and over, I actually download to my iPad. So Lonesome Dove, if you haven't seen that, or if you have, comment below and let's get the comments on that. So thank you, Van Liberty, for sharing Lonesome Dove. Pretty cool stuff. So this is interesting. So James, thank you for posing this question and comment here. So just cut length off dining table down 3.5 inches on his 59 GL makes all the difference. What in the world is James doing taking a saw to his furniture in his Travado? Well, he probably saw the show last week when Jane and Roger were on. Excuse me, I'm sweating. And what he was referring to is Roger's taking 3 inches, the backside, the wall side of the table, to move the table that way toward the wall a little bit, to allow better in and out between the two seats, which is probably for sure the most narrow part of the floor plan, really, and even with a K floor plan, squeezing in between the seats. But the table was a little bit of an impediment, and Roger solved that by sawing off 3.5 inches. If you were curious about their 49 mods, that's short for modifications, that list is posted on my website, GoSmallLiveLarge.com. You can download it right from the Woo page in the title bar, navigation bar, and I think it's also on the Vanlife. So download that, and congratulations, I'm glad it worked. I will not be sawing 3.5 inches off mine. Claire, hey Claire. Not sure we've seen you in a while, and if maybe ever. So welcome. Thank you for joining us. Appreciate that. Do you still have a regular car in storage or not? Yes. Great question. So Kyle, my partner, and I have a bit of a fleet. So he stays at Home Base, Florida. He runs our Airbnb business very well, very successfully. We're actually going to do a What's Up Wednesday with him being a guest talking about Airbnb. And if you want to be able to RV and want to make money from your house, and you have a cool house, location, amenities, he's going to share with you how to Airbnb and make some money when your house is doing nothing and you don't want to rent it out like full time. So as part of that, we do have cars. I have a Mercedes sports car, Mercedes C63 AMG. It's their coupe on the small body style, giant engine in that. And that's one of the reasons I'm excited to get back to Home Base so I can drive my sports car. The van I drive very slowly. The sports car I drive very fast. So that's one. We also have a Nissan pickup that's kind of a daily driver for him. We also have a Genesis by Hyundai. It's a 4-door sedan. Then Kyle's got his RV. So yeah, we got kind of a fleet, but it's mostly the truck and then the AMG that we drive. Some of his family drives a sedan around. So, but they get driven enough, so it's not really in storage. They're driven with some regularity, so they're not technically in storage. So, curious how many of you with vans, what kind of cars you have additionally? It's a great question. Here's merry-go-round. She's got 8,800 miles on her van 3 months in. That's pretty cool. Thank you for that question, Clara. That was a great question. So Van Liberty saying, wish off-highway did transits, even quickly 4x4 is yet to get a new transit. Maybe we can ask that with art of AJ's 4x4s, which is out of California. He might have some ideas on that. So we'll talk to him about that. So that's the Quigleys are kind of specialized 4x4 system, with my understanding. I don't know a whole lot about any of that stuff. Please hold my. My. Bear with me 1 second, folks. My connectivity just got screwed up by an incoming phone call. And let me get that back on so I can see what's going on. We've got our Libation live in just a couple minutes, so stay tuned for that. You don't want to miss that. Bear with me here. Yeah, now my iPad's going to freak out. Okay, well, that wasn't helpful. So let's bring that off screen. Sorry for that distraction, folks. So Jim Everett's got a question here. We got Libation live in 5 minutes, so stay tuned. And my Libation live is right here. Oops, can't see it behind the question. But so Jim Everett wants to know, I've recently had the ProMaster Dash radio backup camera on my 2021 go out. Well, that's unfortunate. Anyone have experience with this issue? Maybe a loose wire or fuse? I do not have either of those systems, and that's one reason why I like my year model, because it doesn't have the fancy stuff. I really enjoy the simplicity, and getting into the Sprinter cutaway chassis that Kyle has on his Regency RV. And from our other cars, all this fancy stuff is just prone. I don't have experience with it. Maybe somebody here in the audience can share that with you, a loose wire or a fuse. But that's really a bummer that it's so new. It's probably something simple, I would guess. Let's hope, right? But sorry about that, Jim. Yes, here's Mesa Mike. Since we're in the season and answered this before, have you winterized your van? No. In fact, if I am in an area where it's getting really cold, I scoot away really fast and try and avoid freezing temps. Now, if it's going to be like 32, 34, 35 overnight, 40, 40s, 50s in the daytime, I'm totally fine with that. But if it's going to be like 28 or below overnight, and I'm not plugged into shore power, so I'd have to have my tank warmers on, which is the only time I'm going to be having those bad boys on is plugged into shore power, then I would make plans to move post haze, because you definitely don't want to, even living in the van, those tanks held outside underneath the van, you got gray, black, and fresh water hanging out there. Again, one night of at freezing is fine, but if it's going to be 25 degrees overnight and 32 by the daytime, I just don't think you can warm those things well enough, certainly in the 20s by day, teens at night. So I would move on. So yeah, no, I've never winterized. So I am a fair weather van lifer for sure. And let me see if I can share this here. Bear with me, folks. I apologize. Right here. I think we'll do that this way. So we're going to Libation live here in just a second. Bear with me. Trying to get my windows straightened out. Hang tight, hang tight. Okay, right here. There we go. Now that'll do a little bit better for us here in just a second. Technical difficulty. I need to take Kyle off my favorites list that disrupts my do not disturb, I guess. Gainesville, Florida. I may actually be going to Gainesville in the next few days to do some work with the Sunshine State team. I'm trying to figure that out right now. So stay tuned on that. So searching for a few more questions. So Sherry's, so she's been working from her van pretty much full time the last little bit of time and going forward. So if I'm still working on the road, coverage is important to me. So I might have to leave or go and find Wi-Fi. If it's not a working day, then I would say no problem. I totally agree with that. But give yourself the 18-hour challenge. Put your phone on airplane mode and just don't even turn it on. I would love to know how our brains explode by not looking at the internet on any mobile device or your laptop or your tablet, just getting a light and a book. Or just watching TV, I guess. But I'm kind of with you, but I don't know. I like being connected, I guess. I'm weird. Let's see. A couple more. Oh, it's 40 minutes after. Let's see. This is a great question, Grez. Let me do our libation live, and then I will answer that for you specifically. Okay, so here's the libation live. So let me see if I can bring this in. Normally don't like to do this, so this is keynote. So libation live, what this is, I find so many great tastes, whether it's food or beverage on the road. The idea here was to share some of that with you. Tonight what I'm doing is sharing this, which you could probably find in your local Costco. If your Costco's are allowed to sell spirits, I mean liquor, you could probably get this. It's a little squishy on finding it, but what it is Kirkland Signature, so it's Costco's brand. And there you can read on the screen. Let me zoom in for you so you can see the whole thing. So it's premium small batch bourbon, 7 years aged in charred American white oak barrels. It's 51.5% alcohol ABV. What's that stand for? Alcohol by volume. It's 103 proof. Whew. 91 points was awarded by Whiskey Advocate. It's distilled and bottled in the sovereign state of Tennessee. I'm not kidding you. That's what the fine scroll down in the brown part of the label says. And it's $30 a bottle, $29.99. This is about my third or fourth bottle this year. It's, again, kind of hard to find. It's hit or miss. I'm going to pour a little bit in my glass here. If you have a libation of similar taste, this is a special glass. If you haven't seen that video I did rolling into Warsaw, Indiana, let's put a little tiny bit in here. It was such a good, this guy hand cut this glass in front of me. It was just so great. And let's just have a little taste. It is just the most lovely, oh my gosh. I like it neat. So John had a question up here away early on. Where was it here? So John was saying, Tennessee bourbon on the rocks, only way to go. I agree on Tennessee whiskey, sir. What I found is that on the rocks, it melts and dilutes the taste for me too much. So I like it neat. I just sip it. I don't shoot it. And you can literally, so did I put it in there? I didn't put it in there what you can actually taste, but this is on my website now. Let me read to you what it says on the back of the bottle. So complex aromas of caramel, molasses, citrus, and spice with a faint smoky background and a long, rich finish. I'd agree with all that. It's really delicious. And doing some research on this, what I discovered that makes Tennessee whiskey special, Tennessee bourbon whiskey in particular. Bourbon's kind of made a lot of different places. But Tennessee has two criteria to be called Tennessee bourbon whiskey. One is it has to be made in Tennessee. Okay. And the other thing that was kind of interesting, I'm pretty sure that it has to be filtered through maple charcoal. Wow, that's what makes it special, I guess. It's so delish. So that's what we do here is we roll. So I would roll down to your Costco if they have a liquor sales next to the beer and wine. Costco is really famous for this, and actually go scout this out and see if you can find it. I looked on Costco's website. They don't sell any of their liquor, spirits, or wine on their website, so you actually physically have to go to a store. I guess it's like that $5 Costco chicken. It's the loss leader to get you in, so that $5 chicken costs you $150. The $30 bottle of bourbon costs you, I don't know, $130. So that's the deal there. So that is my taste from the road. I found it here in Tallahassee, Florida, and it's just the most delicious. And for $30, it's a pretty awesome value, like a lot of things at Costco. So hopefully enjoyed that. I'm a little happier now. Got my whiskey going. Okay, looking for a few more questions, and let me look over here. Yes. the person with the horn out here, I'm curious. Let's see. Great question here from Sherry. Do you have any Christmas decorations? And Lily? No would be the quick answer. Why? Because I'm going to be in home base, even though probably spending a fair amount of time in the van because the Airbnb properties are booked out. So we'll be spending time in his and his RVs. It's pretty funny. I might do something. That'd be kind of fun. Maybe I'll put Christmas lights around, some mood lighting. I thought about putting a wreath on the front, except as soon as I get it to home base, a few days later, it goes into the Ram dealer. So I'm not sure that's going to be great. But I do see people with their vans decorated for the holidays, and RVs in particular. The Class A folks, for sure, always have their stuff out. I'm sorry, I've seen Valentine's, but Halloween and Christmas and Thanksgiving. Okay, so Greg's got a good question here. Grez, let's see. This is the back half up right here. So Grez, a good question. What are your thoughts on camping at the Tampa RV show next month? Apparently the area with services is full, so it's dry camping in the day. What have you done that? Yes, I've been doing some work on this. It's going to be a long week, very busy week, starting with Industry Day for me. So public not invited on the Tuesday. The show starts on Wednesday, runs to that Sunday. I am planning to actually stay in the parking lot most of the week. There are places to go empty tanks very close by and fill. So I'm basically planning to street camp in the fairgrounds parking lot for $22 a night. No services provided. That's kind of crazy. And maybe stay some of the time with the Winnie Bees. I need to check my membership status. They always park kind of on the north, what would that be? Northeast side of the parking lot, I think. Big bunch of vans. Winnebago usually stays there. So I might do that on a Friday night or a Saturday night. But I'll be kind of buzzing around. But I have no camp reservations. Like you, I did a bunch of research, and all the full service sites not available. And on the fairgrounds RV campground, we're only allowed for vendors now. That was new this year. That's where I stayed the last 3 years, 2 years. This is my third year, I think. So I'm kind of bummed by that. You have to shower in the van, and van life, right? I've been running Harvest Host and street camping for all the week until I got to the campground. One night in a casino RV site, which was probably the worst blank tank emptying experience I've had in 3 years. Oh my God, I should have made a video, but I was so annoyed I couldn't. So Grass continues, it seems like it would be doable. It's what travelers are made for, right? That's what I think too. Other options of nearby, where you'll meet up be, so many questions. Yeah, thanks for asking all those great questions. There are a number of resources very close by. So the Lazy Days RV Resort has a dump station. Actually, it's kind of between the resort and the sales area. I think they charge like $10 or $15. I've done that there before, and you can fill fresh water. So that's just minutes down the road. So that's what I'm planning to use. The Flying J also has a dump station, but it's one of those really awkwardly designed ones where the hole is so far away from the RV, it's really hard to get a hose out unless you have two people, one pulling and one holding the hose. So I don't think resources are going to be a big issue. And that's what Travados, certainly GLs and KLs are made for, is going rogue, right? Other options you know about, you just have to do some Google searching, or plan to drive a little bit, or just stay in the parking lot, fairgrounds. That's what I'm planning on do. Meetups B, I'm working with Winnebago right now to hold some meetups at the Lazy Days booth there in their motorized section. So I hope to have that nailed down the next week or so before Christmas. And I think Volta's going to be joining me for some of that. So a lot of things in works. And so stay tuned and watch my website for that. And I just can't wait to meet y'all. I just love these things. And it's just, like meeting Scott here in Chiefland, when I hear the real story of how me and others made a big impact on him to do things differently. He's now living in his Class C RV very happily, as Chiefland, Florida is his home base, and he buzzes around. And that's what this is about. We learn, we share, we build fellowship. And uh, Mason Mike's got some comments on the cellular. Thanks for chiming in here. Has a wee boost. Finally gives me 1 to 2 bars more. Dealership installed mine as part of my package. That's good to know. Um, it's so rarely this happens in the manner that it did at the state park, which is like no service in my van and really anemic on the outside. Now, I kind of expect to have to go someplace to do the show with good Wi-Fi, but I'm probably not going to put this system in. Maybe I just need to do more experimentation on it. But yeah, this is a good point here. Deborah has dry camping in Travado, very doable. Dry camping meaning not plugged in any services. Bring water for drinking. I totally agree with that. So I have a 4-gallon portable water tank in the back of my van as part of my garage storage. Notes of caramel and a rich, long finish. So you definitely want to bring water for drinking. That is absolutely true. And don't use reserve your onboard freshwater tank for toilet, hand washing, maybe some dishwashing, things like that. But then bring your big jug in to get water where you can. Good point. This is kind of funny. Mason Mike is sneaking ahead. Yes, I've got a trip coffee maker. There's a whole video coming out on this. Part of the lesson you'll see in the video is to experiment and be prepared for iterations of things in your van. And I will save it for the video, but yeah, not doing instant. That's where my coffee journey began, was with instant coffee. Taster's Choice, which is probably among the worst tasting of dry coffee, instant coffees. Yeah, Donna's got a good point here. Driving charges the Volta system, what she's referring to here. So if you're driving your van at highway speeds, 70 miles an hour, you get about 2,500 RPMs. With the new second alternator dedicated to the Volta system, you're putting in about between 8,000 and 9,000 watts in a single hour. So if you have a 40% depleted or 60% depleted energy pack, in 40 minutes of driving, that thing is topped off 100%. And it's really pretty magic. Driving is the fastest way to charge your Volta system for sure. So Sherry's sharing here, dry camping in my daughter's yard since right before Thanksgiving, battery and everything holding up well. Yeah, you kind of go into those things going like, is this going to work? Am I going to be comfortable? And when you find out that the RV systems are built for what they're doing, what they're built for, it's a magical experience. I still am stunned. I'm in a Walmart parking lot running the AC off my Volta system. Thank you, Volta. And it's pretty magic what they're able to put into these vans. So great. Other questions tonight? Yeah, so Mason Mike here. Key fob log, guilty as charged, a second guess game. Yeah, we say an app for that. Maybe somebody should suggest that. Probably a RAM thing more than a Winnebago thing. I think Ford Connect has that available, but the RAM doesn't. I would actually go for that as part of some technology on the ProMaster. But just that little tip, and the tip again is to do a kinetic, auditory, and audible when you lock the van. So you hit the lock button, you say locked, you hear the mechanical locks, and you will see the flash, and you won't ever be away from your van going, God, did I lock the van or not? Having to run back only to discover you did. Muscle memory. But that was the tip tonight, so appreciate that. So here's Teresa from Frisco. In the hot springs right now, worth a visit if you haven't been. Nice KOA there. I am not sure where that is. What's your favorite place to visit that you want to go back to? Certainly Texas on the list, Arizona. I just love the cacti in Arizona. And small towns. I'm really eager when I leave Florida home base in February after all the January Super Show stuff. A couple of meetups, maybe a Vanbury will sneak one in. But when I depart in February, I'm really excited to get back to the small towns like Gulfport, Mississippi, like Biloxi. Where did I stay the other night? Ran a complete Franklin, Louisiana. I had to pull over and do something. The premiere of the Solus, I think it was, and just so to answer your question, Favorite place is to get off the highway, slow down, and stay exploring small towns. I just find that people are so much nicer. Everything's less expensive. Everybody's happier. Everybody thinks the van's cool. Um, and I'm going to be doing a whole series. I've got so many ideas in my head, as you know, on videos. And so I'm going to take you to places where you should take your van. And I think Tiny Town USA is going to be a big series in 2022. Very serious about that. I got some content I've recorded um, that will try and sneak out before I hit the road in February, um, launching out of home base. But we're going to concentrate on getting some Route 66 content out. I've only, like in Springfield, Missouri on Route 66. So I got a lot to go there. But that's my favorite places, is small towns. And coming to home base has just made me reconnect with a small town. So we'll see some of the big towns. My trajectory is to leave Florida, go up the coast. So small towns, Savannah's a pretty big town, but some of the coastal towns, do Washington, D.C., New York City, maybe Boston, that'd be kind of a cool street camp place, but really get into the small towns. The big towns just stress me out anymore. And I'm a big city boy. As long as I got some connectivity, I'm all down. So favorite places. Yeah. Where's your favorite place so far? Good question. But we are coming up on the end of the time here. I'm searching for questions. I see Sherry's. Sherry's Christmas decoration. We got that one. Bear with me 1 second. Yeah, Sherry's got a good point here. So this is, on some of the cars we own, there's a preference you can set on the vehicle to when you click the lock button, the horn will honk and the headlights will flash to indicate that it's home. And if you are in a campground, I'm really hyper aware of my neighbors, my surroundings, and am I causing any discomfort for anybody? I want people to be comfortable and have a good experience. And I don't want to be setting off car horns and things like that. So if there is a preference on the van, I've never set it to have that go off. So you might check that. That would be another one. But again, by just doing a visual, audio, and kinetic on this, takes care of everything for me. And it's a great point, Sherry. Lots of folks joining tonight. Here's James Dean. That was it. Thank you. He's really got an interesting life. As part of this, always if there's kind of a new person, I always do a little bit of Wikipedia and Google searching just to learn about him a little bit. He's kind of an interesting character, how he got going in the business. Just an infamous, and people like him that, and ladies too, that die in the prime of their beauty, right? And then that image of them always stays in our brain. We don't get to see them age gracefully or ungracefully. Robert Redford, if he had died in early death, we'd have that really vibrant Robert Redford, and he's not aging overly well, in my opinion. So that's one thing about James Dean, I think, is just they always have that. And he died doing what he loved, which I think I'd rather die like that than just decaying. I don't know. What are your thoughts on that? Yeah, so here, Mason Mike's got, so Amazon Prime, I am a member. Don't use it often. I may not sign back up next year. Yellowstone, oh my God, yes. I have purchased all the seasons. I downloaded to my iPad. I'm watching them, and it's just the best. This last season, season 3, MTV bought them. They've changed some things up a bit. I'm not sure I'm overly excited about it. I haven't seen season 4 yet, so don't spoil me. But I've actually started from the beginning again. But you're right. It's the modern cowboy set in Montana, shot in Utah, which is fascinating. And if you haven't seen, maybe that'll be our recommendation next week, is Yellowstone, which is, again, not in Yellowstone Park. It's the name of the ranch. And so great. Well, folks, we are just about at the top of the hour, and I can't believe how fast this hour goes. And even with our Libation Live, what I'm trying to do is post this in advance so you can get your libation ready to join me if you do partake, whatever it might be. Is so next week I think we're going to do martini. I think what we're going to do next week is a van lifestyle martini. So you might be surprised how I do that. So Sparks guys got one less. Did you see the Beatles documentary on Disney Plus? No. My problem is now that they've all come up with subscription-based apps, which is awesome. What took you so long? Is now I've got like Hulu, and I've got like I'm spending $50 a month on subscriptions of stuff I really don't watch. So one of my plans when I get back to home base is go through all my subscriptions and disconnect, cancel them all that I'm not actually actively using. I'm giving Apple a fair amount of money a month, so that's. But I'm not familiar with that one. So with that, folks, we'll just say thank you again. I'm sorry if I missed your question, and thank you for joining me tonight. Great crowd, as always. I appreciate each and every one of you. You have no idea how you drive me forward, and it's many thanks to you, each and every one of you, all my audience friends, whether I met you in person or still will meet you in person, that have set me on a trajectory for 2022 that is just amazing. I am just over 90 days of being self-employed, exited corporate America, and I couldn't have done that without you and bringing the attention of my awesome partners, Embassy RV and Volta, Pure 3 Lithium Systems. We have a huge agenda with both of them in 2022. So again, thanks to each and every one of you. Be good to yourself. And until you see you soon, we should journey on. Good night.